You don't have to know how to walk the dog, rock the baby, or skin the cat to play the electric yo-yo. You just need to be as patient as Job and maybe a masochist. The electric yo-yo didn't win any awards when it released to arcades in 1982, both because there really were no such awards, and because the electric yo-yo seems to have some faulty wiring. I mean, not literally, the cabinets worked fine. Now, the game, on the other hand, is another story. The electric yo-yo was developed by Taito, the arcade masterminds who brought you classics like Bubble Bobble and Qix, games that enticed far more people to spend far more quarters than the electric yo-yo, and deservingly so. If this game proves anything, it's that no one bats 1,000. The electric yo-yo it's a pretty strange game. In fact, speaking of which, it's kind of like a hybrid of Qix and Pac-Man. Small blocks organized in shapes cover the screen, and playing as, spoiler alert, an electric yo-yo, it's your job to collect them. Now the problem is that Tryons and Bions patrol the screen as well, and simply touching those enemies results in habitual rhyming and instant death. Or, a broken yo-yo, electric breath. It sounds simple enough, but the game's hook is also where it gets the whole yo-yo theme. You move from block to block, but the yo-yo string actually attaches to the nearest block in line. So you wouldn't move one space to the left, for example, you'd shoot the whole way across the screen to the block in the far left column. Now the screen is laid out on a grid, so if there are no blocks in line, you move one space at a time. Very, very slowly. And the mechanic is designed with the intention that you'll be able to swing across the screen and collect blocks within a pixel of a nearby Tryon, but the execution doesn't fulfill the concept. It's really an unintuitive mess to navigate the screen in the electric yo-yo. You see, the concept is simply at odds with natural expectation. Video games, these arcade games especially, they rely on reflexes, and your reflexes rely on expectation. So you push the D-pad to the left, and you'll naturally expect to move to the left. The problem is that movement often collides with your expectation in the electric yo-yo. You'll fly halfway across the screen when all you wanted to do was step to the right. There's challenging, and then there's convoluted. The yo-yo mechanic may be an interesting concept, but it doesn't translate into an intuitive gameplay experience. For example, collecting the bonus blocks that the Tryons leave behind depends almost entirely on where you happen to be, and given the mechanic, there's often no way to get them in time. Now, that's not good game design, that's just cheap. Now, if you can manage to get a grasp on the idiosyncrasies of the electric yo-yo, the game does have a rewarding scoring system based on the distance between the blocks you're collecting. In theory, this makes for a very strategic game that forces you to balance risk and reward. But in practice, this is just a clunky game with a shocking level of difficulty, one that makes you wonder what you're doing in the first place and really drains your energy for anything else. In fact, it may inspire you to play something a little more current. Kevin, we should be charging for puns like this. Among Taito's classic library of arcade games, there's a reason this one is so obscure. Awesome titles and cool ideas alone are about as useful as a stringless yo-yo, or in this case, an electric one.